As seen in our dune restoration overview, the dunes around New Zealand's coast have been extensively modified, degraded and even sometimes completely removed. To restore them, it helps to discover what a standard dune system would have looked like before humans arrived. Usually it would have been a series of sandy ridges and troughs, parallel to the shore and extending inland from the beach, and it would have been covered in vegetation. The type of vegetation changed with distance inland. Some hardy plants could tolerate the harsh nearshore conditions, such as moving sand and burial, salt spray, wind and fierce sunlight. Other plants preferred the back dunes with progressively more shelter, more constant temperature and sunlight, and improved soil quality and nutrients. These conditions created 4 main zones on the dunes, each with a distinctive plant community. The 4-dune sand binding zone, the ground cover zone, the coastal shrub zone, and the inland coastal forest zone. Let's look at these zones of plants in more detail. Zone 1, the 4-dune, the sand binding zone, is colonised by 2 main species, Spinifex, Kōwhangatera, and Pingao. As seen in our videos 1 and 7, these plants help build up the 4-dune, stabilising and repairing the sea-facing slope. They are exquisitely adapted to the harsh life on the dune front. Their leaves are long and tough, bunched together to trap wind-blown sand. And their roots are numerous and strong, stabilising the loose sand on the frontal dune. They have evolved to cope with extreme exposure and high rates of sand movement and burial, and they grow rapidly to occupy bare areas of sand. As we know, these plants are critical in the actual building of the 4-dune and in its repair after erosion. Zone 2, the ground cover zone, stretches inland from the sheltered back slope of the 4-dune, sometimes with low wetland areas called swales. It's a slightly more protected environment, and the plants here are usually low-growing vines and grass-like plants called sedges and rushes. Wee or knobby clubrush, a very prolific plant which gives shelter to other ground cover. Wire vine or Muehlenbeckia, a wiry creeping vine which forms springy mats. Sand coprosma or Tarakupenga, a low sprawling shrub. Shore bindweed or nihi, a vine-like plant. Carex or speckled sedge, a tussock-like plant. And oi or jointed wire rush, found often in wet areas. Further inland, Zone 3, the coastal shrub zone, stretches inland over the back dunes with more varied vegetation and may include more ridges and wetlands. The land is more stable and the environment is less harsh, with more shelter and nutrients, but the plants are still low growing and often wind-shorn. Here can be found large grass-like plants such as flax, harakeke, or toitoi, as well as the distinctive cabbage tree, tikoka. Shrubs will vary with region, often including taupata, karo, manuka, kawakawa, tohinu, and hebe or koramiko. Also nio, olearia, akeake, karamu, mahoi, lacebark, and coastal five-finger. Finally, the 4th zone, the coastal forest, the most inland and sheltered zone of the dune system, composed of various lowland trees. It may vary in width and in plant groupings, and is now a rare feature in our landscape due to human development. Tree species include, depending on region, Pōhutakawa, Karaka, Southern Rata, Kuriri, Koikoe, and the conifers Matai, Tōtara and Kahikatea. The forest will likely include hardy shrubs from Zone 3 in its understory. So a typical standard dune system would consist of these zones of plant communities, forming a wedge of vegetation from the low seaward dune to the high landward tree canopy. However, things do change with time. These plant communities would gradually evolve. Over decades, ground cover would give way to low woody vegetation, then to shrubland with increasing height, and finally, over centuries, to forest. This is called succession. It happens because the earlier plants change the environment, including the light reaching the ground, the shelter from wind, and the soil development. This encourages a new group of plants to establish more suited to the new environment. The only exception to this succession, or change in plant community, are the foredunes, where specialised sand-binding plants remain the only ones to tolerate and enjoy the extreme environment. This knowledge of a dune's plant zones and how they change over time through succession helps us begin to restore dunes. After a dune is disturbed or badly damaged, first the sand-binding plants, spinifex and pingao, and often wīwī, are planted on the foredune to stabilise and repair it, and will remain as the dominant vegetation on the active face of the dune. Next, in the more sheltered land behind the foredune, a small number of pioneer plants can be established. Hardy, fast-growing plants such as wīwī, flax, oi, toitoi, taupata, nio, and coastal five-finger. Gradually, these pioneers will make the habitat more welcoming for other plants to take hold. The natural succession we have talked about will start to take place. So, dune restoration is really a matter of encouraging a natural recovery. Starting the process with appropriate planting and then letting time and natural succession take over. In other words, working with nature.